Welcome back to Unwatchable, episode 10. We've made a milestone, 10th episode. Yay. There was a lot of news surrounding the Mets and Yankees today and around the baseball world. The Yankees have signed back Cody Bellinger, but we are not here to talk about Cody Bellinger. I just said that to let you guys know that the Mets are not pursuing him. Not that I thought the Mets were going to get him, which I'm kind of glad they didn't. But the Mets have signed Luis Robert Jr. I shouldn't say signed. They got Luis Robert Jr. and they signed Luis Garcia. Look at that, 2 Luises in one day. Wow. So with the Mets acquiring outfielder Luis Robert, the White Sox are getting in exchange Luis Acuna and Truman Pauly. I don't know much about Truman Pauly. All I know is that he's a 2025 12th round pick. That's all I know. I haven't really seen his name. Apparently, I didn't see his name in the minors, around the Binghamton Rumble Ponies or the Syracuse Mets. I really see anything. But from what I've heard, he's not even a top 30 prospect in the Mets system. So, he was also picked in 2025. So, he didn't really have time to move up. But that is what the White Sox are getting in exchange. Acuna, in the last Unwatchable that I did when the Mets signed Bo Bichette, I was hoping they kept Beatty and Acuna, and I wanted to see Vientos and Ronnie Mauricio get traded. So clearly, I'm wrong. I'm always wrong sometimes. So Acuna's gone, and when he first got called up in 2024, we saw this young kid who could play pretty much all the infield positions. We didn't see him play first, but he played a good third base. He played a good shortstop when he filled in for Lindor when Lindor was hurt. Played a good second base, and he even played a good center field. He played a pretty good center field. Now, I thought the Mets were gonna keep Acuna as like the really late pinch running situation. Like you have the 8th inning, you have the tying run at second base. All right, Acuna's fast. He can pinch run for a catcher in need be. We saw him pinch run for Alonso a couple times last year. Even when you get in the 10th inning, the Manfred rule, you could have thrown him out there at second base. But the Mets are trading him to Chicago. So we will not see Luis Acuna. I wish him nothing but the best in Chicago. I'm pretty sure everybody does. He didn't have a great 2025. I shouldn't say great. He didn't have the season that he had in 2024. But with the Mets getting Robert, this is according to Joel Sherman, the Mets are taking on the whole package of what's left on Robert Jr.'s contract. So that's $20 million for this year and 2027 $20 million club option or $2 million buyout. So they're just taking basically whatever the White Sox had left. They just took it and they gave the White Sox Acuna and Pauly. Like I said, I don't know much about Truman Pauly. I haven't even heard of his name till the Mets traded him. So that's all I knew. So Luis Robert's name has been around the New York Mets a lot lately. I shouldn't say lately, but in the last three years, since 2023, which, by the way, was Luis Roberts' best season. And we're going to get to the stats and everything after this. So the rumors is that, before in 23, the Mets were going to get him. I would have liked it if they would have gotten him in the 2025 trade deadline instead of getting Cedric Mullins, because the Mets had so much center field trouble, and we're going to get to that also. I would have liked it because I heard a lot of rumors for the past 2 seasons in 2024 and 25 that they were going to get him. Oh, they're tied to him with maybe trading or getting him, and I'm like, we'll see what happens. But they finally did it, but I would have liked it if they didn't get Cedric Mullins and got him instead, because Mullins was so bad. I wish they got Robert instead of Mullins, even though Robert last year was a little down. And like I said, we're going to get into the stats. So when Luis Robert joined in 2020, this was his batting average. 2020, 233. 2021, 338. 2022, 284. 2023, 264. And in 2024 and 2025 were pretty much identical. In 2024, he batted 224. And in 2025, he batted 223. So not really a huge difference when it comes to the batting average. And honestly, it's also not really a big difference when it comes to the home runs that he hit as well. So his home runs, he hit 11 in 2020. He hit 13 in 2021. He hit 12 in 2022. And then in 2023, his best season, he hit 38 home runs. And then in 2024, he hit 14. And 2025, he hit 13. So pretty much identical, like I said, in the past 2 seasons. But 2023 was clearly his breakout season. He also had 80 RBIs that season. The best season after that, RBI-wise, is 2022 because he had 56, so you're going backwards, really. So the year prior for him, if you want to get technical. But like I said, 2024 and 2025, they're pretty much identical. Now, this is his 2025 stat line. He had 431 plate appearances. He had 328 at-bats. He had 52 runs, 85 hits, 12 doubles, 0 triples, 14 home runs, and then 53 RBIs, and actually 33 stolen bases, which actually surprised me. I didn't think he was actually that fast, but I'm wrong. He also had 40 walks. He was caught 6 times stolen, which actually is not as much as I would have thought. I see guys getting caught stealing all the time, but I guess it wasn't JT Realmuto catching. And his on-base percentage was .661. And I think actually the year before, I don't have it down here because I was just writing down home runs. I think it was like .654 or something like that. I don't have it off the top of my head. So that is it. He's coming off a couple, bad years. But I see everyone talking about he needs a, change of scenery. Oh, Chicago's never going to win anything. Yeah, that's true. Chicago's been a mess for years. So are the Colorado Rockies. I don't know what they're doing. They're also a mess. But this could be a good addition for the Mets, I feel like, if Robert stays healthy, because he also has a thing of getting injured time and time again. But this is Luis Acuña's stats since 2024. He hit .308, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. And in 2025, he hit .234, 0 home runs, 8 RBIs, 7 doubles. But yet again, Acuña was also an up-and-down player, and for some reason, we saw him getting a lot of pinch hitting opportunities from Carlos Mendoza, which a lot of people didn't agree. I didn't agree with it at all, especially in that Phillies game where you had a pinch run Ronnie Mauricio for Pete Alonso. Or I'm sorry, you had a pinch run Pete Alonso and bring in Ronnie Mauricio. Ronnie Mauricio has never been the same since his ACL tear. And I said this before. The difference between Acuña and Ronnie Mauricio, while yes, they could play all over the infield, they could play some outfield, Ronnie Mauricio has never been the same since his ACL tear. He can't run the bases very well. Acuña is fast. He can play the outfield. I'm not saying that Ronnie Mauricio can't, but Acuña's faster. And God forbid if Ronnie Mauricio tears his ACL, because 24 in the Winter League, I think he tore trying to steal second base. That was brutal. So, obviously in the last Unwatchable I was wrong. I wanted to see Acuña and Beatty stay because I felt like Acuña was going to play a pivotal role on this team as the, emergency pinch runner or, a utility guy like Jeff McNeil because Jeff McNeil's now gone. I thought he was going to be almost like a Jeff McNeil utility or like a Luis Guillorme utility almost. But Luis Guillorme never played the outfield. So, all right, let's get on to the mess of the center field that was 2025 for the New York Mets. And then we're going to come back to Luis Robert. So in 2025, there was so many players playing center field. If you go back to November of 2024, the New York Mets acquired Jose Siri, which I'll be honest with you was a mess from the begin with. Jose Siri was supposed to be the replacement for Harrison Bader, who wanted to stay actually. And by the way, he's still a free agent, and I am not opposed to going getting him. I like Harrison Bader. He's a very good ball player. He's very good on defense. If he gets into a ball, it's out of here. And honestly, if he even makes contact with a ball, it's probably going to be a hit. So they get Jose Siri in 2024. He plays an abysmal center field, especially towards the end of the year against the Nationals. He was just horrible. He couldn't hit. I think he went 2 for 34 and then finally got DFA'd. I guess the Mets were hoping that he could run into 10 bombs or something. I mean, it was a mess to begin with. Tyrone Taylor. Let's get on my man Tyrone Taylor. Now, I love Tyrone. He's a very good defensive player. He's fast, like a Luis Acuña. Now, this is where I feel like Tyrone Taylor and Luis Acuña have a lot of similarities. Acuña fast, Taylor fast. Acuña good defense, Taylor good defense. So, obviously, I want to keep Tyrone Taylor on the team. He's a very good late addition substitution. Like, maybe you're in the 8th inning. Tyrone Taylor can give you solid defense. He can give you great pinch running. The only problem is his hitting is not fully figured out. Unlike Jose Siri sucked. And also, like the next guy we're about to mention, Cedric Mullins. He sucks. He sucked. He was so brutal, and it was just a mess to begin with, honestly. He wasn't having a good 2025 season. That's why I was saying, maybe I said this to Pat too. Maybe the Mets should have went after him in the 2025 deadline instead of getting Cedric Mullins. I would have preferred Robert over Mullins, but yet again, the White Sox were so bad, we thought everyone on the White Sox sucked. And like I mentioned before, Robert Jr. was having a bad season, but like I said, maybe he needs to change the scenery. Maybe he's good in Queens. I definitely would have preferred him over Cedric Mullins. I think everybody would have. Cedric Mullins is gone, by the way. He signed with the Tampa Bay Rays, which is hilarious. Jeff McNeil in center field was, well, a shit show. I guess you can describe it as a shit show. He didn't get good reads on the ball, especially in the Philadelphia series. In Philadelphia, did not get good reads on the baseball, and it was a mess. Brandon Nimmo, while he was playing center field, was actually pretty good. But yet again, Nimmo was on a decline, fielding-wise, I guess you could say. He actually hit a lot of grand slams this year. And, I wish, obviously, I'm pretty sure every Mets fan wishes Nimmo nothing but the best in Texas. Great guy, but it was his time to go. So, those 5 players alone. Now, I can't really obviously, Nimmo was playing center field. He was playing more left. And actually DHing, too. So, apparently, we're going to say, I'm still going to include all 5. All 5 of those players were so bad that they finished 27th in defensive fielding run value for the Mets. The Mets were 27th in fielding value in the center field. That is crazy. That the center field was so bad. The center field position for the Mets was it was almost like who's going to go out there? When Jose Siri got along with the team, he looked good, but we all knew the player that Jose Siri was. Okay, yeah, maybe he runs into like 5 home runs, like I said before. Then he gets injured, and then Tyrone Taylor goes out there. And like I said, I love Tyrone. He's great defensive, fast, just couldn't hit. And then they acquire Cedric Mullins, and neither Siri or Mullins could hit league average, be better than Tyrone Taylor, to the point where Tyrone Taylor gets injured. We are hoping Tyrone comes off the injured list. And that's when they throw Jeff McNeil there. And by that time, the season is pretty much over. I mean, it wasn't over, but it was over. And, in the Miami series in the final season of the year, which was a total disaster, we saw Brandon Nimmo playing center field. Then we saw Tyrone Taylor in the final game of the season playing center field before being pinch hit by Jared Young, which, why is he still on the team? Don't know. Anyway, let's talk about Tyrone Taylor for a little bit before we go back to Luis Robert. Like I mentioned before, Tyrone and Acuna have some similarities. Tyrone is great on defense. He is very fast. I just want him to figure out the hitting. If he figures out hitting, I feel like Robert just plays left field, and maybe there's a possibility Taylor can be your everyday starter. But as it stands right now, Tyrone is not your everyday starter. But it is very good that they got Robert. I feel like it'll be a good addition to the Mets for the outfield because they didn't have a left fielder. Now, does that mean Robert is playing left field and Taylor's going to play every day? No. I was joking around with Patrick today. I said, oh, well, look at this. Jared Young's going to play left field. Obviously, Jared Young's not going to play left field. I'm pretty sure he's going to get DFA'd before the season starts. But Tyrone, I could see Tyrone coming in as a late inning defensive replacement. Like I mentioned with Luis Acuna. Either a very late defensive replacement or he's going to, come in as a pinch runner, which he's fast. I also saw a rumor that Mets are thinking about bringing back Starling Marte. If Starling Marte comes back, you have to find a position for him. Because as it stands right now, the billion-dollar man in right field is playing every day, and maybe he can learn how to track and catch a fly ball. Center field, it may be Robert. He might be playing left field, but I think they put him there as a center fielder. So if you were to bring back Starling Marte, we'd have to play left field. Pretty much, unless you move him to center field and you move Robert to left field. Now, yet again, this is just a rumor. I'm not saying the Mets are bringing back Starling Marte. Do I want Starling Marte back? Not really. Not really. And I'm not saying, there's nothing against him. His time is just over. His time is just over in Queens. If they bring him back, it's like, okay, they brought him back. But he's got to be an everyday player then, if that's the case. I would like the Mets to bring back Harrison Bader. You can have Bader play 2 games, and you can have Siri. Oh my God, you have Taylor play the last game of a 3-game series. And Bader wanted to come back at the end of the 24 magical run season. He wanted to come back. He's still a free agent. Go out there and get him instead of him bending us over when he signed with the Philadelphia Phillies. Go out there and sign him. You can have him play center field, and you can have Robert. The Mets are also very high on bringing Carsen Benge up, which, hey, if he has a good spring training, does he make the opening day roster? Maybe, but I think the pressure is off him now because they signed Luis Robert Jr. There's not like that pressure that he has, like, oh, I have to make the opening day roster, or I'm going to be on the open roster. He gets the nerves. There's not much pressure on him. Is he still going to feel a little bit of pressure? Absolutely he is. Is Jet Williams going to feel the pressure? Absolutely. Now, am I opposed to having Carsen Benge on the opening day roster? No, I'm not opposed to it. Are they going to put him on the 40-man roster? Only time will tell. I'm not opposed to that either. But I really do want to see Harrison Bader come back. I love Harrison Bader. He's a great outfielder. But as it stands right now, I see everyone saying that Carsen Benge is going to play left field and Robert's going to play center field, which, hey, like I said, if Benge has a great spring training, by all means. We already know the catching situation. You got Alvarez and you got Tyrone and you got Sanger as your third string catcher who's starting in the minor leagues. So Robert also has a 9% walk rate, which I'm going to be honest with you guys, and this is just the way I am. I don't care about walk rate. I don't care if he walks 27% of the time. I really don't. Walk rate to me is, yes, well, if you get on base with a walk, okay. But, like, everyone is, like, losing their mind about walk rate, and I don't really care for it. Now, if it's a 2-1 game and Robert draws a walk, absolutely. But if we're down 5-0, I really don't care about a walk at that time. But that, I guess, is a good thing for him because it was very much down. And also his strikeouts are down because his strikeouts were up and up and up. But they are down now. But like I said, we just got to hope Robert stays healthy and he'll be good. So that is Luis Robert Jr. I think it's a very good trade by the Mets. Like I said, I just didn't want to see Acuna go. I don't know if it's because I like Acuna or I just felt like he had more potential. Like I said, I would have rather see Vientos or Ronnie Mauricio go. We're going to see what's happening to Ronnie Mauricio. We don't know if he's going to start in AAA, if he's going to be on the opening roster, is he even going to be on the 40-man? We're going to see. Does he get traded if he's still on the team? Does Brett Baty get traded? Does Mark Vientos get traded? We're going to see what happens because as it stands right now, everyone is saying that Polanco's playing first and Baty's either getting traded or he's going to be a DH or he's going to be in the minors. So I don't know. I hope Brett Baty's still on the team. I like Brett Baty. I thought he had a really good year last year as opposed to 2 bad seasons, in my opinion. So we will see as time tells. Like I said, this offseason has been an odd one. I will say an odd one. It's been up, it's been down, it's been down, it's been up. It's like a stock market. Up and down, So let's get on the other Luis in this video. Luis Garcia. The 38-year-old right-handed veteran pitcher who I last saw killing the Mets in the 2022 wild card. He signs a 1-year deal with the Mets, $1.75 million. So obviously not a long-term contract, obviously, because the Mets are not going beyond 3 years. Which I feel like this signing is good. This gives you depth in the bullpen because Lord knows with all the pitchers on Tommy John surgery because of an exhausted bullpen, you needed an arm in the bullpen. And I think Luis Garcia is a very good addition. He's a very good addition. Now, in 2025, he played for 3 teams, that being the Dodgers, look at that, the Nationals, and the Angels. Now, his stats for 2025, his WAR is .8. He had 2 wins and 2 losses. His ERA was 3.42. He played 58 games. He had 2 saves. That might come in handy. He had 51.1 innings pitched, and he had 48 strikeouts. So your typical reliever line Now, his stats with the Dodgers, he had a 5.27 ERA in 28 games. He also had 2 wins with the Dodgers. With the Nationals, he had 0 wins and 0 losses, but he had a .90 ERA in just 10 games. And then with the Angels, he had 2 losses, and he had a 2 ERA in 20 games. Oh, and by the way, his WHIP is 1.464. So, okay, and his overall stats, WAR's 3.2, 28 wins, 30 losses, 4.07 ERA. So it's kind of like I said, your average reliever. I will take the signing. I think this is going to help the bullpen a lot. So right now you have AJ Minter, and you got Garcia, you got Luke Weaver, and you have Devin Williams. As much as I want it to be Edwin Diaz, it's Devin Williams. This is the way the Mets are going. But I think Luis Garcia is a good addition. Like I said, last time I saw Luis Garcia, he was messing up the Mets in the wild card game. He came in that first game, what was it, like the 8th inning, 7th inning? And he was throwing pretty hard. So this is a good addition by the Mets. I hope Luis Garcia doesn't get DFA because I don't know who else the Mets got in the bullpen. The bullpen is, like I said, there's like 10 pitchers who need Tommy John surgery with the Mets. Most notable being Reed Garrett. I was going to say Max Crank if Max Crank's not on the team anymore, but he does need Tommy John surgery. Danny Young needs Tommy John surgery. Tyler McGill needs Tommy John surgery. There's a lot of pitchers who need Tommy John surgery with the Mets because of an exhausted bullpen. So the Luis Garcia signing, I'm a fan of. The Luis Robert trade, I'm a fan of. But like I said, I didn't want to see Acuna go. I'd rather see Mauricio or Vientos go. So what does this mean now for the Mets? Are they going in a different direction? Is the offseason getting better? Is it getting worse? I'm just going to say this. It's like a stock investment. It's bouncing all over the place. It's down one day. It's up. So far, it's been 50-50. You lost Pete Alonso. You lost Evan Diaz. They walked. You traded Nemi. You traded McNeil. Traded Acuna, which I think a lot of Met fans love Acuna because I think they think that he was going to be a stud. I mean, I don't think he was going to be as good as Ronald Acuna Jr., but who knows? The last time the Mets traded somebody to a Chicago team, they became an all-star. And that player was Pete Crow Armstrong for Javier Baez, who played 47 games for the Mets in 2021 before getting injured. And now Pete Crow Armstrong is probably one of the best outfielders in the game. So, is that going to happen to Luis Acuna? Who knows? Are the Mets going to regret this trade? I don't know. Only time will tell. Is Luis Robert going to hit 210 when he comes here? We will see. But guys, thank you so much for joining this episode of Unwatchable. I will see you guys in the next one. I will be doing some more Devil updates because that season has been a mess. And also on Team Talk, Patrick and I will be breaking down the Jets and what they're going to do in free agency and how the Islanders and Devils are doing. And at some point in time, I will be doing the Knicks on here as well. I just got to have more time. I am busily jumping work and my car just got messed up, so I'm juggling 1,000 things at a time. But stay tuned for some Devil updates, some Knick updates, and definitely some Jets updates. That'll probably come sometime next week or first week of February. But guys, thank you for joining this episode of Unwatchable. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.